Welcome to the real world, everybody. Merry Christmas. It is time for another Christmas Blu-ray. It is A Christmas Carol, one of my favorites. This one really gets me in the holiday spirit. Got my cocoa, got my Santa hat, and we are ready to talk about another classic Christmas movie. And that is this gem from Robert Zemeckis, produced by Disney, starring Jim Carrey. It is probably one of the best iterations of this Charles Dickens tale ever told on screen, utilizing that performance capture technology Zemeckis used in the Polar Express. So we're going to dive into this Blu-ray edition, let you know all about it. Bert is going to give us his thoughts on the 3D version as well. So let's get started. So here it is, A Christmas Carol on Blu-ray. This is really, really great. This presentation is fantastic, both visually and when it comes to the audio, it's also spectacular. The Blu-ray case is pretty standard. It's got the poster on the front. The back has some images from the movie, and then a breakdown of what's on the disc. So you get the feature film on Blu-ray. The high def looks really great on this one. The animation is spectacular. Tons of bonus features, a lot of cool behind-the-scenes featurettes with the actors, on set with these weird pajamas they're wearing and the polka dots on their faces and all these things that they had to go through to make this performance capture movie work. But it comes to life in a really magical way here. The spine looks great on the shelf. And they just did a great job with this movie. I really think it's very well done. The performances are a major highlight. The visuals are really spectacular, though. And they did a great job with the discs here. You get the Blu-ray and the DVD. I like the disc art on the Blu-ray. That's always welcome. Video presentation, spectacular. Audio presentation is also really amazing. So I'm a big fan of this movie, big fan of this presentation on Blu-ray. But let's find out what Bert thinks. He's got it on 3D. Bert, take it away.
Thanks, Cam. Yeah, I'm going to be reviewing the 3D version of A Christmas Carol. And I've got the packaging for it right here. This one in particular is the lenticular slipcase, so it is also in 3D, which is great. I love collecting those whenever I can. My reviewing equipment, I have a 47-inch LG 3D TV from around 2012 and a 4K 3D Blu-ray player. So this film comes, of course, about 10 years after A Polar Express, both made by Robert Zemeckis, both designed with 3D in mind. So it should look great. Just to comment on the visual qualities of this film in general, this is a huge step up detail-wise from A Polar Express. Like, the animation in general looks terrific. There's so much detail. The virtual sets that are employed are really good. There's really good sound effects. Jim Carrey's performance, he in one way he knocks it out of the park. I mean, the thing is, I can't fault Jim Carrey. His performance for what he's asked to do, it couldn't be better. It's more just a little bit a comment on the film itself, in that it's just so serious. Jim Carrey, very, very gifted comedian, and I get that, Zemeckis didn't want this to be a comedic role. There's no comedy from, I guess you could say, the performance that Jim Carrey does with his words. Now, the animation, there's a lot of gags and stuff like that I think are supposed to be funny. I just didn't really find myself laughing at the really sort of odd gags that they use during the course of the film to tell the story. Didn't really work for me. So that's a comment on the visuals, regardless of the 3D. The story, it's good. It just didn't really impress me. I knew what the story was, and I think it just needed more comedy, more from, like, let Jim Carrey just be a little funnier himself with his voice talent. So, okay, so on to the 3D. There's depth. There's always depth with 3D, and it does work really well, swooping in and around these buildings of 1840s London. The depth helps a lot, and it's pronounced a lot. So I mean that's fine. What I watch 3D for, the depth is good, but I want pop outs, right? Because that's what I get from 3D at least is when there's some really things that fly out at the viewer. And there's not a ton of that, honestly. I was disappointed after a tremendous showing in Polar Express, where there's loads of things that pop out at you. There's just not that much here. There's some snow and some sparks and sand particles at certain points that pop out a little bit, but nowhere near to the pop out level of what we saw in a Polar Express, the Polar Express, unfortunately. So there are some pop outs. Marley's spittle at the 25-minute mark pops out. I mean, a little bit. At 1 hour and 11 minutes, there's a really good pop out. So, there's good depth. There's a couple pop outs, but this is not one that you're going to use to show off the in your face pop out effects to your friends or something like that. Interestingly, there's a special feature that's 3D specific on the 3D Blu-ray. It's called Mr. Scrooge's Wild Ride, and it actually has some really great pop outs. I would say even better than the actual film. So, so in comparing 2D to 3D, I mean, I still would choose 3D in this case. I would rate the 3D presentation, I would say 3 stars. And if you count the Mr. Scrooge's Wild Ride, I'd even go 3.5. So it's a good presentation, but it could have been so much better, and I don't know why it's not since it's made by Zemeckis. So that's my thoughts on that. Back to you, Cam.
All right, folks. Well, that's all we got for A Christmas Carol. Thank you, Bert, for your breakdown on the 3D version. Do you agree with Bert? Do you have this on 3D? Do you feel the same way he does? Or do you feel totally different? Let us know in the comments below. Let us know what you think if you have the film on the regular Blu-ray like I do. Let us know what you think about the movie if you've seen it. Maybe you've only seen it once and you don't remember it very well, or maybe you didn't like it at all. Maybe you think it's the best ever adaptation of this classic story. We want to know what your thoughts are on it, what your thoughts are on Jim Carrey and his performance, all the other great actors who are in this. Let us know what you think in the comments down below. Make sure you hit the like button, hit subscribe, hit the bell so you get notified of all our videos, and we'll see you next time right here on The Real World.